Fine, huh? Okay, great. I hope everyone had a good lunchtime. Some good talks. So we're kicking the afternoon off. I think with a very exciting talk by Alexander and Carsten on how to create momentum for sustainable growth. I think sustainability is a topic that we're all thinking about right now. It's also something that actually my team cares a lot about. Also, like personally, we really have a lot of people in the team that they don't just say the words; they really want to live it. So I was really looking forward to this talk to learn from you, especially in the area of digital product development, how you define basically creating sustainable growth there. So, floor is yours, and looking forward to this talk.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Yes, you can hear me. Perfect. Yeah, actually, it's great also talking to real people again. I don't know how you feel right now, but actually, like a new area is coming today. Like also, like having real exchange during lunchtime was a bump for today for me, especially, definitely. And yeah, we're trying to lever you out of your carpool after lunch right now. And just to give a quick introduction about ourselves, my name is Alexander Werle. I'm working for the business consultancy Different. Yeah, we're located in Berlin and in Munich, and yeah, actually we're focused on businesses, especially also in the sustainable segment. And we're trying to lever the potential out of the sustainability combined with digital product design. So you can probably see there's kind of like relationship to our topic for today. So that's me by now.
Yes, I'm Carsten from ABUS. Ever since I started with ABUS, I have taken care of a lot of hardware. So for 10 years, there was a lot of metal and plastic running through my hands. But some 4 years ago, ABUS decided to also take care of more smarter and digital products, which by the time was quite a bold move, I would say. But the journey paid off so far. And doing this and seeing what you can also do left and right, we also realized together with Alex and others that sustainability is also a topic you could talk about, and you could lever even more potential when you combine the one and the other. And doing this, Alex has brought some input for us today to see how we can do this, and I will show you later a little more detailed how ABUS is actually doing that.
Thank you. So this was more about I'm taking care about the theoretical background, and Carsten will provide you with the practical abroad on that. And just because, like, to know you a bit better, so who of you guys is actually working in a digital product design related department or company? So please raise your hand. A few, all right, look, it's getting more in this table, yeah. Perfect. And who of you guys are actually also dealing with the fields of sustainability regarding product design right now? 1, 2, 3, like 2.5, all right. Perfect. And who of you guys are actually like also dealing with the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals by the United Nations? Is this kind of a topic for you, or did you ever heard about this 17 goals of the United Nations? No? Okay, so a few were nodding. Okay, we will just probably make a little bit more deep dive on that right now. But we are actually here because we would love to talk to you guys, because you are actually on the forefront of the, I would say, digital product design right now. And I don't know about your feeling, but our feeling so far is that the key factors of sustainability are actually more a topic of the C-level right now. So it's more discussed on this level, and not that much actually on the design level, on the product level right now. So actually the challenge is shall we wait until the C-level has decided what goals to follow, or shall we just start by now? And Carsten and we also thought a lot about this topic, how to get started, and we came to the front. It's much more worth it to start out of the product design and the product development force to get the whole part of sustainability in the whole organization started. And we had a few frameworks on that, and also a few thoughts on that, and we will try just to guide you through, just to give you a few, I would say, a how-to lever sustainable potential out of your product design and digital product development department. So this is our goal for today, and of course a good conversation afterwards, because this is beta. We're also just working on this stuff, and we are definitely keen just to learn on your company realities by now. Perfect. So, as a basis, as a status quo, we just brought 2 simple theses with us, and very simple, and you probably also can say, okay, that's true, yeah. So the first one is, investing in sustainability means it's good for business, right? We can probably agree on that, that's right. And the other hypothesis is, digital product development is an ideal spark, right? Probably you know it, when you are working within the field of digital product design, the management listens to you. Yes? No? I see nodding, so, okay, definitely. But just to bring this on the next level, when we see the potential of digital solutions in the future, in the next 10 years, it's a big number, right? And we probably see a lot of big numbers, especially today in this whole day, and during all the other talks by today. It's about 57.8 billion US dollar until the year of 2030. So the big number, how can we compare that actually? The GDP of Europe is about 19 billion compared to that. So huge number, and it's actually also rising 20% for each year. Well, that's quite a lot. In comparison to Europe, it's about like 3 to 4%, right? So it's a lot of, I would say, potential to lever during digital solutions. And as a matter of fact, we also learned that sustainability initiatives at corporations appear to drive better financial performance. So that's a fact. So more the question is about how to get this kind of connected, right? Because we see there is a potential in investment in sustainability, and there is definitely an increase in financial impact in our companies. And the question is more, how can we combine this? How can we also find the arguments for us to see how to connect sustainability potential through, I would say, financial impact in our companies? This is something we have to deal with every day. How can we find the arguments, and how can we also see the process behind and can explain that? So there are different approaches to that, to find a solution. Most of you probably know the inside-out approach that actually says we do have set KPIs, right? Okay, we want to have more turnover. We have to invest in sustainable solutions, or we have to reduce our plastic bottles within our structure. This might be also affect positively our, I would say, value chain, but probably also not. No? You set your goals by yourself. This is one approach. The other approach is an outside-in approach, and this is when the SDGs came into the structure. The SDGs are 17 goals agreed by the United Nations that give a very structured orientation on how can we actually build sustainable business in the future in the next 10 years especially, right? So the question is, how can we actually combine these 2 approaches? Because speaking from a reality right now, companies today are somewhere here in the middle, right? So they are moving increasingly towards the SDGs, so because they see them and they know them and they accept them, but they are still very connected to, I would say, numerous arguments like turnovers, because these are actually the arguments that are, I would say, they have power in the management, right? Nobody cares about how many thousand liters at the end of the year you were saving. They're caring about income, they're caring about growth, they're caring about how they can also lever their risk management. These are the hard facts, right? And we would love to just to lever exactly this potential to argue with these numbers to reach the SDGs. And you guys are actually the perfect, I would say, like group of people, because you're working in very flexible environments exactly to lever this potential. Here you see this 17 SDGs. These are kind of an orientation right now, right? It's more about what could us like suit to us, to our core business. You can choose any of them, but we don't want to choose any of them. We want to choose the right one who also bring the right potential for your company. This is what our aim is to target with you actually. This is the point 1. The point 2 is why are actually also the area of digital product design is, I would say, the biggest lever to go into this potential. And you probably know them all, because I might just describe your working environment right now, but in the end effect, digital product design has great degree of flexibility, right? You are not sticking to 5-year goals. You are working on products, you're testing them, you're verifying them. Quickly build and test, this is just something what I just mentioned, right? You are working in very flexible, agile environments. Fast scale up, so we found something, so let's get out to the people, like, and work with them, right? Completely different approach than a C-level approach, right? And it's a momentum generator, so this sustainable thing is legit. Let's work with that, right? You are actually like the guys who are also like able to spark exactly this kind of facts in your company. And of course, you are within your department or in your organization kind of a transformation driver, right? So you are actually like the group of people who can also build this momentum by now. And okay, so we have like, I would say like a few ingredients. We do have the SDGs as orientation. We just understand that there is kind of connection of the SDGs and the KPIs, and we have to build a bridge. And we also understand that digital departments are actually, right, seen from the structure, a perfect, I would say, like basement to get to the next step. So how can we get started, right? And another question in the round, I'm just taking a look, who's in the field of a startup? So it's more about, has probably not a huge history of the last 10 years. Who has a fresh building? 1, 2, 3, okay. And the other ones might come more from the bigger companies, right? So you do have actually a heritage. All right. For you, because usually when you like go towards sustainability, you first have to think about your past, right? It doesn't make any sense to build a fixed future without like taking a look back into your heritage, because probably you just find out how to lever the potential within green efficiency, but you're still like wasting 100,000 tons of water during your value chain, right? That makes no sense at all, right? But in this case, you do have like a lot of tools just to find them out, and I would probably not go into that, but you will definitely find them. There's a proper website on that. The United Nations also provide them, how you can also fix them along the value chain. But we are trying to make momentum. We are trying to make a first step in the future. So even worse than just, I would say, like forgetting about the past is actually doing nothing at all. So actually you are the guys, or the department is actually I would say the basement of finding these opportunities and showing ways how to lever the sustainable potential. And next to the part is, okay, we understand that, how to get started. So what is actually the first step to go into the future? How can we work on that? We just brought a few steps how to do that. The first is, and then afterwards we come to the practical approach, is identify your star feature. So what is actually key of your competence, right? So can you fix that? Then orientate yourself in the field of sustainability. So is there kind of a match of your key feature, something you can see as your key competence, and one of the SDGs? Then afterwards, it's C&D that says, where are actually your potentials, like proof of concept and proof of business? This is following afterwards. And the last part is about initiate and iterate execution. And this is something we would also love to make a more detailed deep dive with you after this speech. All right? Perfect. So, first challenge, identify your star feature, where to build on.
Yes, identify your star feature. It's nothing you make when the CEO approaches you and tells you, what about the digital star feature, and you just push a button and it pops up and there you go. Normally it's a longer process, and sometimes things come in handy. I wouldn't say coincidentally, but in handy when we have been approached from external guys who have been asking us to make an IoT padlock, which can actually communicate with the internet. You can open it remotely, you can operate it with an app. And we have been approached by Vodafone in this case, and they asked us to make something like this together. And we just reminded ourselves on how ABUS actually started 95 years before, exactly in the same way. ABUS is actually an acronym for August Bremiker und Döne, and that's not an invention, like not a made-up name. August Bremiker actually was a guy who founded the company in 1924 in his early 60s with 7 of his 12 sons und Söhne and sons. And he started with a padlock. So rumor has it, and we make kind of a joke about it, that it's exactly the same story, that we started off the whole digital journey as well with the padlock. Now you don't see any padlock here on this page. I have seen plenty padlocks today in the telecom presentation about the voice, which is funny because I'm not using any padlock today. And when we have been approached by Vodafone, we just said, okay, we do that, we set up a project how to actually put internet on an ordinary padlock. And doing this, we found that whatever you need for such a padlock can be used for so many other things in terms of security products. So first thing we had to do is take care of communication. So we set up a platform, which is called ABUS CMAP, which is an acronym for Cloud-Based Managed Access Platform. CMAP is so much better for marketing. And in this platform, you can actually organize all the devices you have, all the locks, and on the other hand, all the users who are actually allowed to use these locks. So all the names of the users and all the data and all the devices are in that platform. And you can now organize who is allowed when and where and why to open and close a padlock. And you can even, if you communicate with the lock itself, you can even open it remotely. Closing it remotely is not so easy, but you can open it remotely. And doing this, we found it's a platform which can also be used for other IoT products, at least for other locks. So here you don't see a padlock, you see IoT products. It could be any lock. I always make the joke that it could also be a fridge, because it's the same logic, open and closing a fridge. You only need a sensor, you only need internet, and you could see in our platform, is the fridge open or closed? It's exactly the same. When operating the lock, we found that people, of course, they're using apps to operate the lock when they are in the proximity of the lock. And we needed a communication standard here to talk with the lock when you are in the proximity, and we decided to go for Bluetooth. Doing this, as ABUS is a security company, we found our own Bluetooth standard, which is super secure and also very convenient. So we take care of things like pairing. Everybody who has, for instance, a rental car and you want to pair your phone with the entertainment system, it works 8 out of 10 times. So we have taken care that this here hopefully works 10 out of 10 times, maybe 9.5 times out of 10. And that it's very safe. And when we talk about convenience, you can also, for instance, communicate and share your lock. So what you can do with our app, with the Bluetooth standard here, I could send Alex an invitation, and I could share my lock with Alex. So if he's not the owner of the lock, I could send him in his app an invitation to my lock, and he could actually use also my lock. What we found then afterwards is that people like that feature and that feature very much, and all of a sudden we were selling software. So we have not even been selling locks here, but we sold software, we sold our Bluetooth standard to third-party companies. So we have sold the SmartX standard here, the Bluetooth standard, to a bike company, and they have actually implemented that Bluetooth feature into their own infrastructure, and now you open and close your bike, and not even a lock, with our Bluetooth standard here. And the big advantage in the end is if you have that bike and if you buy an ABUS lock afterwards, you can use the very same app, not even an ABUS app, to operate your bike, that lock, and also an ABUS lock which you made buy afterwards as well. And for us internally, the big advantage is that each and every ABUS product is now talking that same language. So the dream, it's not a dream, it will be true in the end sometime early next year, that you can actually operate each and every ABUS product which is operated by Bluetooth with that standard and with one app. So in the end, the dream is you open your bike, your door, your lock, your fridge maybe, all with the same app, and you don't need 5 or 6 or 7 apps to do so. So we found these two star features for our digital infrastructure here. First of all, the platform, second of all, our Bluetooth standard, and in the end we found that the whole infrastructure here is a key feature or a star feature in itself, as we can sell each and every part of this here individually. So we can connect third-party devices to our app. We can sell our app to third-party devices. We can use our dashboard and white label it to make it approachable for other companies. And we can sell the platform here also individually. So the whole flexibility and scalability of that infrastructure here is, I would say, a key feature or a star feature in itself. But in the end, it's the mixture of our platform and the Bluetooth standard we have developed. So once we have done this, this has taken me now 5 minutes to tell you how this works. It was about, I would say, 3 to 4 years to set up this kind of infrastructure here. You only have to identify which SDG you want to serve. So we don't want to make it over scientific here. You could choose one or all 17, that would maybe be a little too much. But as we are talking about infrastructure in general, and as we are from, I would say, more mobility driven, as ABUS, we make bike locks, bike helmets, but also home security structure. We have chosen as an example for today 3 of them, which is Zero Hunger, number 2, which is energy and water, 6 and 7. Because it's quite easy to explain how to lever the potential of the digital infrastructure I have just shown you for these SDGs.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. So we just learned the security code is one big thing, one star feature, and the platform is the other feature. We just learned, and I think the filter we were also talking about, we choose exactly this one, was because these are the SDGs who are actually levered by infrastructure. So infrastructure and ABUS is kind of connected, so it's a good first step just to take an advantage what kind of SDGs could be suitable. But right now it's coming like the work part. It's more about proving, right? So we have a first navigation. We can say, okay, there is kind of a potential connected from our star feature with the SDG, so how can we prove this? And now it's getting a bit, I would say, not ugly, but you would say a table now, so be prepared. The table just says it's more kind of a map how to get orientated, and we'll also just show you the challenge how to get this kind of, I would say, both approaches together. So we just learned that SDGs, perfect orientation. Well, gives you kind of orientation on what kind of SDG you have, and you got on the X-axis, right, the other part that shows you like the typical dimensions of your company, right? So probably most of you who are also like working in business or are business related might know them as well. So right now, more the question is, how can we actually bridge in between, for instance, in between of gender equality and innovation? How can we have kind of a relation in between of climate action and growth within our portfolio? Because this is actually the lever we have to do to get our C-level convinced on this topic, right? So this is something we can also do right from our star feature from on. So, and our success, I would say, on that, I would say, table is driven by 3 simple questions, right? I'm just changing, going to the other side. 3 simple questions. The first question is, well, where can I use my existing star feature for new clients, right? And we just found out through a simple brainstorming and walkthrough through the SDGs that actually, well, we are coming from the infrastructure and reducing food waste in the value chain. That is also quite a huge market. It's a good first orientation, and there's a number within. That's cool. We know that. We do have like first experience in that. This is cool. And actually we do have a new KPI right now. It's not growth anymore, it's reducing food waste, right? And we can tag that. We can take a number behind that, right? Another question is, well, where can we solve existing problems by modifying our feature a bit? And as we just learned, that ABUS is kind of a key player in the area of home security and smart home, right? So the whole energy part of smart meters is actually not that far away from this key market. So it's more about how can we probably just bring our key feature in this area and probably also take it as a key to access this kind of market and also use it for a good communication on the other side. And, well, green sales marketing is not our KPI anymore. It's energy efficiency. This is something we take in our goals. This is something we can also reach, right? And the third question you can just ask yourself is about not what can I do for the stakeholders outside my company. It's also the question, how can I also like have a value within my company, right? You do have processes, you do have waterways within your whole company. And the question is, how can I actually use my star feature to optimize internal use of resources? And we just found out through a quick screening that especially the whole of reducing waterways is a huge topic. Well, when you just take as a glance for other like areas and business areas in Germany and in China as well. So there we can actually do a real lever. And it's not anymore that sustainable operations are our KPI. It's not on our list anymore. Our KPI is reducing waste of water. And we can just name it. We can build a number behind that, right? So the target shifts right now. It's not only about numbers, it's also about targeting the SDGs by now through a very simple KPI, right? And this is just an example, right? You probably say, okay, oh my God, this is just such a huge KPI, and how can I just tackle it? You can just take it to the next level, and to the next level, and to the next level, and this is not something we have invented. This is something that is very official. You can access that on the UN website. They're definitely and fine and worked out very finely. So it's not a thing of just inventing something. It's just about finding new KPIs that suits actually to your business reality right now. Well, so you can see, okay, the orientation is clear right now. So the first step is done. We see the potential. And the next step is about, okay, we do security since how many years? 125 years? Okay, 97 years, right? So we are actually like a key player in the whole business of security, and all the things we just said, reducing water waste, green efficiency, it's actually not on our list anymore, right? So we are like just leaving our home turf and going to the margins of the potential. And this is, I would say, huge topic, right? Well, and there are actually like some ideas that get very concrete on that.
Yes, now you have everything in hand. You have a digital infrastructure. You have chosen your SDGs. You have identified the potential. And now you have to see what you can actually do with that. So using the key feature or the star feature CMAP, our platform, talking about water and seeing what kind of potential in this area you have. We can now think of an IoT-based water management system to save water. So just imagine a water tank which is secured by our IoT padlock, and now I suddenly know who is able to approach the water tank when and where, and maybe if you have a sensor for that, maybe how much water has been in the drainage or what have you, or water wastage, or you can block the water tank if too much water has been poured out, and so on. So all of a sudden you have a business approach on which you could not have think about beforehand. Same is for zero hunger. Using our CMAP or the Smart X, you see that all of a sudden you think about things like food tracking. So if you have silos and if you have harvest and you have silos where you have wheat inside, you can again track who is able when and where to approach the silo, and when it's transported from the field to the silo, you can now all of a sudden see in our CMAP where is the truck moving and who is moving the truck and for which time it was where, and so on and so on. Again, you have our key features, you have the SDGs you want to contribute to, you have the market potential. I mean, it's number dropping is huge. It's 500 billion euros a year, but nevertheless you see that the share of the cake here could be huge. And last but not least, also talking about energy, that may be the closest to the business we have today. If you have a smart approach to the door, if you know if the door is open or closed of an apartment, you could shut down energy if nobody is at home. or you know how many people are actually in the flat, and you can organize the energy. You can organize the energy in the flat according to how many people are inside. Because once you have the approach to the door, you know who is there, if anybody is at home, and you can also organize the energy supply to the flat. So here, this is all organized and prioritized with some examples in terms of, say, hard money. There is one last approach you could also take. If you only go by money, you know, you check the market, how much potential you have with these different examples in terms of internal results in terms of money, but you could also do it the other way around, or you could widen out your approach to prioritize the different examples I've just shown you. It's not only how much money you can make, but maybe you can also think about, and this is a totally different approach for us, you could also think about how you contribute to the success of external parties here. I don't know about other companies or other organizations, infrastructural organizations or what have you. So not only the money approach, but in the end also is what I'm doing also contributing to others and not only to my own success. And in the end, which is quite perfect timing, we just want to leave you with a question for the roundtable discussion to shoot off with that. I mean, if you have questions now, of course. But for the roundtable discussion, we could also discuss a little bit more. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Very interesting presentation. I think since we're tight on the time now, I think it's good to keep this question in our heads for the roundtable discussions. I think we have a lot of time to discuss. Then I would move on. Thank you very much for this presentation. To the next one.